I've come back from the future to warn you that if you don't subscribe to SSJ, your future is grim. When Dragon Ball Daima was announced, the immediate comparison was unavoidable. A kid Goku, a regression in age, a journey-focused story, and an adventure return to form, all things GT attempted 30 years ago. But Daima does something GT could never do, and that's be canon. Toriyama involved and structurally tighter, and today I'll break down some of the baby Vegeta art compared to Daima, because both of those have a lot of comparisons, as well as the story structure, character handling, lore consistency. So the setup, Dragon Ball Daima episodes 1 through 3 versus Dragon Ball GT episodes 1 through 3. So GT with the Black Star Dragon mistake. GT opens with Emperor Pilaf accidentally turning Goku into a child using the Black Star Dragon Balls. Immediately we get problems where Goku is mentally the same but physically weaker. The Dragon Balls introduce a universe-ending timer. Everybody acts shockingly incompetent, with Goku sent into space with Pan and Trunks, a trio with zero chemistry at first, and the tone is comedic but the stakes are mismatched, a recurring GT issue. But if we switch over the Dragon Ball Daima, a deliberate regression where Daima de-ages the entire cast. But here's the key difference: it's intentional, coordinated, and tied to a new realm, where episodes 1 through 3 establish the demon realm, a magical curse affecting multiple characters, a villain faction with a clear objective, a reason why God tier characters are limited, and unlike GT, Daima immediately explains why power is restricted rather than pretending it doesn't exist. And the key difference is GT de-ages Goku as a gag, whereas Daima de-ages Goku and the cast as a plot mechanism. So let's go to part 2, the journey. Daima episodes 4 through 9 versus GT's Black Star Dragon Ball Hunt, where GT, for the most part, most of it is aimless exploration. GT's Black Star Dragon Ball arc is infamous for feeling like filler, with random planets, gimmick villains, no long-time consequences, Pan constantly being sidelined, annoying, or rescued, with Goku solving most problems alone, and Trunks being reduced to a straight man, or Pan becoming comedic relief. This arc wants to feel more like the original Dragon Ball, but lacks Toriyama's pacing, whereas Daima's purposeful adventure, episodes 4 through 9 of Daima, where the difference becomes impossible to ignore, with each location introducing demon realm lore, expanding magic rules, adds consequences to battles, develops side characters. Instead of random hijinks, Daima treats exploration like world building and not filler, whereas GT's planets exist to stall time. Daima's location exists to teach the audience how the universe works. Character handling. Daima episodes 10 through 13 versus GT's mid through Black Star Dragon Ball arc. So GT's biggest failure is its cast. GT suffers from Vegeta being absent for half of the arc, or possessed by Baby, Gohan, Piccolo, and others being irrelevant, and Pan never truly growing. Even when the Black Star arc ends, nothing feels really earned. Daima fixes this. Daima episodes 10 through 13 shifts focus. Vegeta is present early. Side characters contribute tactically. Magic requires teamwork and not just raw power. Characters learn from failures. This feels closer to early Dragon Ball than GT ever managed. And then part 4, the villain problem. Daima episodes 14 through 17 versus the baby arc. Now let's enter GT's strongest material. GT, which is the baby, works because he has history with the Saiyans, his motivations is understandable, possession creates paranoia, and the stakes finally feel real. This is where GT becomes great. Briefly, episodes 14 through 17 introduce Daima's central threat, threatening without brute force. Unlike Baby, Daima's villains don't rely on possession, they rely on control of the system itself. So the key difference is Baby hijacks bodies, and then Daima's villains hijacks reality rules. And I just want to add in some quick notes. So GT comparisons are here, and while some of the similarities are surface level, they have similarities nonetheless, such as main characters being turned mini or an imp by a full villain such as Pilaf from GT or Goma from Daima, and other characters characters being left behind while a main trio goes into space, such as originally in Dragon Ball GT, Goten and Gohan were supposed to go with Goku, but instead Trunks and Pan ended up going because Pan forced her way through when Trunks was fixing the machine or fixing the spaceship. And then in Dragon Ball Daima, I believe it was supposed to just be Vegeta. It was when Goku, Shin, and Glorio were in the first demon realm, and they rescued Pansy from the first attack in that village. Pansy ended up forcing herself with the group, similar to how Pan forced herself with the group in Dragon Ball GT. And then another thing I wanted to mention is that in episode 3 of Dragon Ball Daima, basically at the end of that episode, after leaving the bar, they basically come back to their hotel only to see that their ship has been stolen. And this happens more than once to both Goku's group and Vegeta's group in a similar fashion to episode 3 of Dragon Ball GT, titled Terror on a Mecha, where they make it to a shady town and get their ship stolen in the end. So that's kind of cool that there's some similarities to Dragon Ball GT. Even though I'm not a fan of GT, it's still cool that they did some things to kind of, give some credit. Part 5, Transformations and Power. Daima episodes 18 through 19 versus Super Saiyan 4 GT, which is Super Saiyan 4's triumph. Super Saiyan 4 is GT's crown jewel, which is primal, thematically perfect, and the return to the Saiyan roots, but it arrives too late and the buildup is rushed, in Dragon Ball Daima at least. So, in Daima's approach, rather than introducing a flashy form, it recontextualizes existing abilities, focuses on efficiency over escalation, and makes every power gain situational. It avoids Super's transformation fatigue while feeling fresh. And then during the finale, Dragon Ball Daima episode 20 versus Baby's defeat, GT Baby's ending is visually strong but rushed emotionally, while Daima's finale emphasizes resolution of the curse, consequences of meddling with magic, and character growth over spectacle. Final verdict, GT had better ideas while Daima has better executions. GT tried to recapture Dragon Ball's roots without understanding why they were, while Daima revisits those roots with modern structure and canon discipline. So what do you guys did? Do you guys see any other comparisons between Dragon Ball GT and Dragon Ball Daima outside of the obvious things such as, Super Saiyan 4 and other things like that? So what do you guys think?
She don't wanna be saved, don't save her. 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 She don't wanna be saved.